And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at a little abstract game called FILLIT, which is about filling in a board. I guess it's FILLIT, right? Filled in a board. But anyway, it's an abstract strategy game where you're moving your pawn around, trying to get all your tokens on the board. But when you cross other people's tokens, you change them to your color. Add in some stones that you move around to act as spoilers and mess up things, and that you got pretty much almost the whole rules of the game. It's a really simple game, but I'll show you real quick. In the game FILLIT, you have a pawn that you're going to put on the board. You have a bunch of chips of your color, and then you have stones. This is one of the setups for a three-player game. There's different setups for a three-player game, a two-player game, and a four-player game, although a four-player game is simply two teams of two. Now on your turn, you're going to move your pawn. You must move your pawn, and you must move one of your stones. Your stone can just move one space in any direction. You can move your stone first, or you can move your pawn first. When you move your pawn, you move it as far as you want in a straight line until it hits either the edge or it hits an obstacle. Obstacles are stones or other pawns. So let's say, for example, my first turn, I move my yellow one here. After that, I'm going to place a token in every spot that I move through, including the one I ended in. And then maybe I'll move this yellow one here to stop the red player from going in that direction. So perhaps the blue player now decides they're going to move their blue stone here, and then they're going to move over to here. So they have to stop when they hit my pawn. The red player decides they're going to move their red pawn this direction. They move all the way down here. And now it's my turn again. I don't really have a lot of options here. I can only go this direction. I could go back, I suppose, but that's a waste. So I go over here. I have to go until I hit the center over there. And I place them like this. And then I'm going to switch. I'm going to move this yellow stone here. Whenever you move a stone, if there's something in the spot, you switch with that spot. And that's to keep blue from turning mine in. Because what blue could do, and let's say blue does this now, blue could move here in a straight line until it hits the red stone, and it would turn both of these yellows into blues. And then maybe red shoots up here, and red decides that it's going to move this red one here, blocking yellow from going that direction, forcing yellow to go this direction or here next turn. Yellow decides to go here, and then yellow decides to switch the stones here. And that's pretty much it. You're going to keep going until one person or team gets all their tokens on the board. And you're going to have a certain number of tokens based on the number of players. In a three-player game, you'll have 18 chips. Get all 18 on the board, you win. In a four-player game, each team has 25 chips. So that's FILLIT. I also got another set of rules for a game called Jam It. And in Jam It, it's a very different game where you're sliding coins onto the board with your pawn, trying to push them off. I played that one once, it's okay, but this is the game that it's marketed as FILLIT, so this is the one I want to talk about. When it comes to components, it's just pawns and different chips. I do like that the chips have different backgrounds to them besides the colors. And they're fine. They're cardboard chips, and it has a nice look to it. On the other side of the board is the mini board, and the rules have very clear setups and move. It's not a very difficult game to understand. Everything fits nicely in a small box. It's fine components. This is the kind of abstract game that I am delighted to find. I'm really happy to see games like this because my feeling with abstract strategy games is they should be extremely simple to play and to teach, but have some depth to them. And this definitely has that. Now it does feel a little bit like, I feel like I've seen this before, where you move and you're filling in a board like almost a slow version of Tron. But with the extra stones and movement, it feels also like a classic that's been around for a while. So it's a solid little game. And I think it works well with 3. Now, it's best at 2, probably. And 4 is fine, although 4 is essentially just a 2-player game with 2 pawns. But the three-player game, there's very few abstract strategy games that give a good three-player advantage. And you're even, normally it's like, hey, you stop him. All right, I will. Situation, and you're working back and forth. But with clever play and those stones, which they can't move very far, and they don't feel like they're that strong, really can do some neat things. And you can block someone at the right time, move it here, or set yourself up to run across the board and win the game. It's not a long game, 15 minutes. Now, like I said, there is the other set of rules, Jam It, which are fine. It was an okay game. But FILLIT, I really enjoyed. So this is a game that many of you watching my channel probably have not heard about before. But it certainly is one, I think, to take a look, hunt down if you can. If you're looking for something that feels both classic and a little new at the same time, check it out. I'm Tom Vasel. You've been watching the Dice Tower. Dice Tower judgment approved.